Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our very first show for Educainment. Woo! I'm Victoria,
I'm Anna.
And I'm Leah.
and we're here to inspire youth through fun learning and entertainment.
Alright, this is our very first show, guys, and we are so excited. We just like to give a little background about who we are and what we do.
Well, you may know us from the NDP village or being around Cervantes, Ilocosur. We are youth trainers and mentors from the NDP village trained by Master Del Pe.
We train youth not only in subjects of school, like your normal subjects, but we also give you subjects about life, how to boost your confidence, how to make better decisions, how to be your best, and also how to contribute your talents to your maximum.
And if some of you are having nosebleeds, sorry, we don't speak Ilocano. We are actually originally from America, but almost 6 years ago, we moved here to Cervantes. And we can say that our life has changed for the better. Don't you
Yeah,
agree, guys?
I agree.
Definitely.
It really has. We have grown leaps and bounds just by moving. We are originally from the United States. And then when we moved here, we found a new life that helped us learn in a different way, especially under Master Del Pez training. We didn't get the normal traditional training. We did when we were in the US, but when we came here, we had an immersion training program. So what does immersion training program mean, Anna?
Well, this program brought to you by Radyo Kabinnadang Educainment is the mix of two words, education and entertainment. So while we're learning, we're also having fun while learning. You see, in the regular or traditional education system, you learn in a classroom or you learn from a teacher, but sometimes we don't have fun. So you learn faster when you have fun, right?
Yeah, I think so. So today we're going to give you a few topics that are relatable to the times. Right now we are in COVID-19 lockdown pandemic. We don't have all the time and we don't have the opportunity now to go to school in person. But that doesn't mean that learning stops. As they say, learning can happen outside the classroom.
Yeah, and in our program, we try to involve, having fun and giving tips that you guys can relate to. So one of the things that we can advise you guys about having fun and learning is to
How to learn faster. So part of our segment here on Radio Kabinnadang is about things that they have not taught you in school, right?
Yeah.
So how do we learn faster now during the pandemic time?
So this will be one of the very three topics we will discuss today. So let us present to you three things you didn't learn in school.
ooh, what's that?
Okay, so Anna, you mentioned the first one. So tell us, how do we learn faster, even though we are not in school these times?
Well, like I said earlier, in traditional school, we learn in a classroom with one teacher and a lot of classmates, right?
Yeah.
But during this time, you are either on online schooling or not at school at all, right? Because you can't go face to face or in person training. So, one of the best methods to learn faster is to get a mentor or somebody who already has the skill sets that you're looking for. These people have already the wisdom and the experience of their skill sets, and they've done this, they've done that, and in their own way, they have their own success and failures, which we can learn from.
Yeah, I agree. I think instead of learning from scratch or learning by yourself, it's better you get advice, you get mentoring from somebody who has done it and who has been successful. And I think since coming here, we've had many mentors. So since coming here, we've grown very fast and in a significant way because we have people guiding us. Can you maybe give an example of one of your mentors?
Oh, well, let's see. What is a mentor? So for the youth here in Cervantes, who can be your mentor? Well, firstly, you have your parents. They have their own wisdom. You have your lolo, your lola. You have also your teachers here, and even people who are in the business community. So not only learning from teachers, if you want to learn how to sell things, if you want to learn how to make money, you can talk to different people who have been and done it before. So, for example, my mentor and in my department that I work in for our international organization, I work with a lot of video, graphics, and editing. And I didn't learn this by going online, on school, or in the textbook. I learned from someone who has gone through it before. And by doing that, you shortcut a lot of the step by step learning. You get to learn what really actually works on the ground. So, Anna, can you give an example of a mentor that we can find here in Cervantes?
Well, a good mentor that we have here in Cervantes is Rega Stellar. So she has helped us a lot with educating ourselves with different skill sets that we didn't learn in America. For example, like social media promotions, or how to promote yourself online, or how to even have an online university. In school, you have to go through many years of learning and have to go through having a college degree to have your own qualifications. But what if you qualify yourself or ask a mentor to help you have your own qualifications to reach that level of skill sets, right?
Yeah, I think also one important thing is in your own skill set that you want to develop. Say you want to develop your social media skills, but you look for a mentor who is maybe a business person. A business person is not the best mentor for you to develop, mark or social media skills. So you have to find someone who is relatable in the area that you want to, master or you want to develop. And that's what I can say.
Okay, so find your mentors. Now, during the school times, you probably have your teachers, but this time you have so much access. So even though you're not in school, okay, that's fine. Why don't you go out? Why don't you learn in the community? Why don't you interview your lolos, your lolas? How did they get through their own issues in life? Maybe their own heartbreaks, if you have heartbreaks. So you have to really go out and find your resources in the community. We have people here like Sir Severo, who's really good at tech here, and he also is our technician, apart from being a teacher. And he has really showed us by teaching us in person how to do it. Instead of going to a textbook, you just ask the person who knows how to do it. So apart from having a mentor, Anna, what is the next advice you can give for learning faster?
Another advice that we can give you or share to you is to have a group of people that you can learn with. So even if you're not in school, you can even form an online group chat, or if you have your own personal group that is not exposed to COVID-19, you can learn together faster. As they say, you cannot get enlightened alone, or you cannot learn alone. You have to learn from others. So you can only know your strengths and weaknesses if others can also help you learn your strengths and weaknesses. And if you're in a group together, you can help each other develop more of your strengths or build together an even more powerful group and learn new knowledge.
Yeah, I think that even applies to us as sisters because
Yeah.
we started on our learning journey here, like on the same level. So we had each other as classmates and teammates, and we had like different qualities, right? Like within each other, we vary in different ways. So some of us are stronger in some areas, or some of us lack in some areas. So we always like point out to each other, or we try to do it in like a peaceful way sometimes. But we bounce off each other's strengths and weaknesses. So as a team, like the three of us, like it has helped to have other people with us. I think we can expound more on this in the next break. We'll just take a quick break to get a little dancey to Despacito.
Get up on your seats and move your hips.
All right, welcome back to Educainment here on Radyo Kabinnadang 93.5. Again, I'm Victoria.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Anna.
And last time, before the song, we were talking about having a mentor. So we wanted to add that having a mentor will also help you find your blind spots. You know, like when you are driving the motorcycle or you're driving the car, you can be on your journey, but sometimes when you're not looking, there's a blind spot that you cannot always see. So you need someone who is there, who is seeing your journey ahead, and that can tell you, oh, be careful that speed bump there or that hole in the road. So you need someone who can show you the way, who can guide you to avoid those things, which will help you learn faster. Rather than falling into the hole or falling because of the bump in the road, they will help you avoid it ahead of time. And now we move on to the second tip, which is to have group members. Can you explain more on this, Leah?
Like we said before, having more people with you, it can complete your team. So doing things alone, sometimes some of us like to do things alone. Maybe we don't like to deal with other people, but that will take more time to complete goals or to accomplish things. So having more people is like having more support on yourself. Like if you're working to build a house, if you're going to do it alone, then it will take you like even months or years. But if you have other people with other skill sets, like maybe some of them are mason or some of them are welders or some of them can be carpenters, it's better you have also other people who have developed more skill sets, who are specialized in those things to complete your whole team. Like I manage the construction. Maybe some of you know that. So it's like if you're building a house, you need more specialized workers to also finish better with more quality, and to make a project better and faster. So doing things alone, sometimes I think in the past we like to do things alone, but having more people around you helps like support you, and each other will lift each other up.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, by the way, Leah is known as the lady boss. She manages over how many workers?
Right now, daily is 30.
30 male workers, not only inside the village, but we also have different projects around Cervantes. If you've seen the new swings in St. Agnes or the playground there,
Yes.
if you've seen the work going on in a Luling Barangay Hall, this is the
Yes,
Barangay Hall. Leah is the one supervising the boys. So she is the one saying, oh, your blind spot there, you forgot to palitada that one.
And we're also now developing a new building for Radyo Kabinnadang. So I'm excited for that, and Severo is also excited.
Yeah, as we are speaking now, we can see the boys assembling with the paints and the different types of
The tiling.
tiling.
Yeah.
So having a team is about having different talents. You have your own weaknesses, but someone can help you augment or can help you with the talent you are lacking. So for example, if you are in a basketball team, a lot of you like to play basketball. You have the what do you call the one in the back?
The forward?
The forward.
The center? The
This-
big one?
You have the center, you have the forward, the one who can run fast, the one who can jump
The
high.
point guard, the shooting guard.
So if you cannot jump high, you always have someone who can help you do the jumping. So it's not only just about having a group. A group is a bunch of individuals who are just together, but maybe they're not organized or they are not synthesized or having a consciousness where it's like they are one. So an upgraded version of a group is called a team.
Team.
Yes. Like us, where they call us the Tres Marias. So Leah here is like our stronghold. She's like the rock of us because she has a lot of physical power and she has a lot of leadership skills, like managing people on construction, and she's very functional. And we have Victoria here, which is more of our like intelligence. She has a lot of intelligence. She's very wise, and she has a lot of wisdom to impart to many people.
She's a nerd. Just kidding.
And then what would you say about me?
Well, I think Anna, she can be very creative. She's a very creative person, outgoing, and if I'm nerdy, I would say she's the one who's the more outgoing. I mean, I'm pretty much outgoing, but she's a creative and very social. So you can have people who can really complete yourself as a team, and you can work hard to complete different projects. And apart from having a team who can help you and support you, what is the next way that you can learn faster?
When you learn something, say you learn something in school, right? You read it in the textbook or the teacher taught you, but then again the next minute or the next hour you forgot it already, right? Because That happens when there is execution of practicing or application. When you learn something, the best way to absorb it in your mind or absorb it as part of yourself is to apply it immediately.
Yeah, apply it immediately. Okay, say you learn something today. By today, you should start thinking, okay, how should I do it? And then by tomorrow, you should have a plan. And by the third day, you should execute it. Or even better, if you cannot execute it on the third day, you should execute it right now, as fast as possible. Because what you learn is something that you have to apply immediately. In school, we learn through textbook, we learn a lot, we have to write on the paper, da da da. Actually, I was surprised because one of the students who were doing the modular learning, they said, "Oh, can you please help me?" I said, "Okay, what's the question?" "Oh, what is the benefit of dancing and how do you do this kind of step?" And then I said, "Oh, so how are you supposed to answer that?" "Oh, we're supposed to write it down on the paper." And I said, "Really? Why don't you actually go and experience dancing instead of the theory of dancing?" So it's like the learning today has become more on rote education, just memorizing instead of experiencing.
Yeah, from my experience in school before, like history class, maybe some of you like history class. I personally don't like history class because it's always reading in the textbook, memorizing the dates, who died, who won, what country was like the successful one. So like memorizing by textbook without like any like movement or like no application with it, it was hard for me to learn. But let's say like what's a class that you had application? Like for math example, sometimes you do the problems and you solve it on the paper, but actually doing it in real life, like counting alone or multiplying alone, if you do it in a real life situation, like let's say how many hollow blocks for one wall. So you count, remember, the length, how many on the horizontal plane versus the vertical, then you multiply. So that's multiplication in with application. So by doing it in real life, then you make it a part of yourself, of like a part of your mind and a part of your being.
Yeah, for example, like if you don't know how to multiply, count, or divide, or add and subtract, you just be in charge of salaries. Because of course you don't want to miss your calculation, you don't want to overgive, or also you don't want to not give.
Or even better, you can use math to see who's the better option when you're looking for a boyfriend. You say 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. What is their strengths? Do they have money? Do they have job? Do they have car? So it's just, you can apply these things in real life.
And okay, so now that we know, okay, we have find a mentor, have a group, apply it immediately. And the next one, I think, is to teach it as soon as possible. So instead of just applying it, you also have to teach it so that you can know the subject from a teacher's point of view. But before we get deeper into that topic, let us move on to the next song of today, called Better When I'm Dancing.
No, count on me.
Oh, count on me.
This is for having a team. You can count on each other.
Yes, for your team and for your group work. All right, we are back. This is Educainment with Vic,
Leah.
And Anna.
here on Radyo Kabinnadang.
All right, if you have any questions or any suggestions for topics, maybe for our next segment, you can text or send a message to this number, 0930 144 1745. I'll say it again, 0930 144 1745. And you can also go on our Facebook.
You can comment there on Radyo Kabinnadang 93.5, or you can also visit us at NDP Village.
Okay.
All right. So we were talking before that you have to apply what you learn immediately. So there's this Chinese proverb that says, "Tell me and I will forget. Show me,
And I will remember.
involve me."
And I'll understand.
And then there's another aspect that we learned from Master Del Pe, which is teach it.
And I will master it.
Good. Okay. So if you teach what you learn immediately, not only will you learn it better, but you will channel different aspects of what you have learned. So, for example, can you give us an example, Leah, in your work that you do?
Maybe aside from construction, I can relate it to maybe martial arts.
Martial
'Cause
arts.
I am the trainer for martial arts in the village, and I also do online trainings. So I never did martial arts before I came here, but Master said to me, "You're gonna be a martial arts trainer." I said, "Okay." So the way that I learned fast, or the way that I developed martial arts, is that I taught it. So we would do trainings with Master, and then immediately I would have to go home and practice it even a few times by myself.
And then tomorrow he said, "Oh, Leah, go teach the class."
Yeah, so and then say, okay, the things that I learned yesterday, I had to teach it. Like if we had local groups, then I would be teaching it. So by teaching it, then I got better. My moves got better, and I could understand the moves more. I could teach in a deeper way. So by teaching it, I could say that my martial arts has been not totally mastered, but it has been developed in a better way than I think Master said before when he was training in martial arts. To master one move, you have to do it 10,000 times.
Oh my.
So imagine I'm in my house by myself doing a kick 10,000 times. I think I would lose a lot of my life by doing that.
Oh my gosh.
So I think by teaching it right away, then it has also taught myself, by teaching others, I also taught myself to learn faster.
That's good. So, if you heard of our martial arts program, before, if you've seen us in the gym, we had a whole gym full of over 300 students there practicing martial arts with Leah. I hope we could do that again, but I think with the social distancing, we would have to be like 6 feet apart. So not as many would
We
be
would use
full.
the whole Cervantes.
Yeah, we can use the whole Cervantes. So yeah, apply what you learn immediately and teach it right away. You can even ask some of your teachers here. Probably they're also learning more as they teach their subject matter. Not only does it come from just teaching it again, but you get your own wisdom from it. So the key thing here is that by learning faster, you compress your time, you save your energy, and then you learn things with wisdom faster. The wisdom is the one that really helps you to absorb. That means you have absorbed and assimilated the teaching. You know the do's, you know the don'ts, you know the best practices. For example, Anna, do you have any example in your dancing? Because I know Anna has been a dancer. She's actually performed in the International Convention on Higher Consciousness and also at the World Institute for Incurable Diseases Convention.
Check it out on Facebook.
Check it out on
Like and
Facebook.
share.
Girl on Fire, and also
on my YouTube.
so Anna never had any formal training. But Anna, how did you learn right away, and how did you from zero to what you're doing today?
Yes. So before actually coming to the Philippines, I had no training in dance. I would just like to watch YouTube videos or try to copy the artists doing the choreography, but I don't quite look like them. But when I was in the Philippines, I started more of my dance journey. And this has started again with our mentors at the NTV Village to not only dance in the physical aspect, but to also have dance with meaning. So to interpret a dance with a higher aspect and to bring a message of what you're dancing to. So for example, my dance piece in the ICHC, you may have watched it or you may have seen it at the fiesta, is about youth and what we really need today. What are the solutions for youth? And I think we can all agree that youth, a lot of them need help, right?
Yeah.
Some youth are either depressed, have anxiety, or feel pressured during these times to perform to their best, or they're lost.
Mhm.
Some youth are in their technology. You see 2-year-olds having phones, watching Coco Melon.
Oh my.
They know how to skip ad on YouTube. Or we have youth that are looking for something that brings them purpose. So part of my dance was to inspire youth, and also not only youth but the parents and educators, to give youth a better purpose, to have service, and to also have a consciousness as a youth to help each other. So my dancing has improved physically, but also have a philosophy. So you can call it a philosophical dance, right?
That's good. Actually, we've been saying that if you want to learn fast, you have to teach it. And by teaching it now to them, I even just had a new insight from what we were talking about. So I would say another point is that when you want to learn something, you add meaning to it. So as Anna said, if you add a meaning or a purpose to it, or if you do it for service for others or for your family or community, it will make it more meaningful. And that means you get the, as they say, the good endowment or equity that you can learn more from what you are applying immediately in your life.
And I just want to add also, if you can dance to perform for others or perform for yourself, but if you don't have intentions, it's not as meaningful. So if you learn with intention, you have more will to do what you have. So will to perform, will to share, will to serve. If it has intention and meaning, it becomes an even better performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we can talk more about that, but we'll go to our next song and have a break.
And we are back to Educainment here on Radyo Kabinnadang 93.5. Woo! I'm Vic.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Anna.
And we are going back to our topic, which is the things that you didn't learn in school. And one of the topics we just were, touching surface on was that you learn faster by applying it with meaning. So Leah, can you please expand on this?
Okay, sometimes if I'm doing construction every day or managing it, like I can get tired or I'm like, oh, I have to manage this again. So sometimes, we get tired of doing our everyday tasks. But one thing that Master has said before, I like this example, is there are 3 kinds of workers. He asks the first worker, oh, what are you doing? Okay, I just have my hammer and I'm just, hammering this nail. So the worker says, he said it in like in a tired way and maybe he's already tired, he has no motivation. Okay, so he's hammering the nail. Then you ask the second worker, oh, what are you doing? The second person said, oh, I'm building this beautiful house and we're gonna make it very nice and very good and it's gonna be a very good building. I said, okay, he had a bigger vision in his mind. And then you ask the third worker, oh, what are you building or what are you making? And then the person said, I'm making a place where many people will gather, maybe many family members will enjoy each other's company, they will have a good time, they will celebrate together here in this beautiful house. And I think for many generations, many people will enjoy this. So I'm so happy to make this beautiful house because all the good experiences people will have here, it will be because I helped in it. So having that, it's like called a perspective. If you have a good perspective on what you're doing every day, like if I'm doing the managing every day, I can say, oh, I have to manage these boys. They made a mistake. We have to fix it, or I have to scold somebody, or I have to be scolded. So it can be tiring at times. But when I step back and I look at the bigger picture, I see like first of all the village that we've created, and then I see like how many people we've served there, and I also look at the future. Like I think many people will come here because we teach them, we heal them, and then when I really get the full force of it, I can experience all the transformation and all the happiness that people feel by the things that I'm doing, I'm helping manage. Seeing that, zooming out and looking at the bigger picture, it can give you more meaning.
Yeah.
You see the impact of your work and you can see that the fruits of labor will come back to you.
Yeah, so when you ask really okay, why do I have these talents? It's not because it's your personal pleasure or your personal interest. You have to really share it out. It's about sharing your talent so that people can benefit from it. So by installing purpose, it also gives you that motivation. So no matter what happens, if you're failing, if you're tired, if you feel like you don't want to do it again, if you go back to the reason why, it gives you that motivation. And it sees your sufferings as part of the challenge, as part of the learning experience. Like, for example, we asked several, What is the students' complaints here? Oh, they're always complaining.
They're tired, they're stressed.
And I said, but how about even with the lockdown? Oh, even more, they're still tired and complaining. So he said, oh, but I don't know why they're complaining. They're the one who wants to go to school. So you have to go back, okay, to the reason, why do you want to go to school? It's not just because you want to make your parents proud. It's not just because you want to pass your grades. That shouldn't be the main reason. The main reason should be that you want to get more in touch with the subject matter, because someday you will use it as a tool to serve others. So now we don't have school, but there are, as we said, many ways of learning. Go out, go learn from other people, go back to the basics, learn how to cook, learn how to plant. Yeah.
Well, everybody knows that here. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure everybody knows it here, but I mean, it's something that we are losing, though. I do see that. There are probably the older ones who know, but I see the younger ones losing touch of that because they want to touch the iPhone.
Touch the screen.
Touch the screen.
Or even learn how to communicate with others.
Yeah.
Because now, like, you may be like shy, or because that you haven't been in person in a while, you just want to keep yourself in your room, right?
You're in a box. You're in a box.
You're
by
in a
yourself.
box. You're like your dogs, keeping them in the box and not interacting with everyone.
Yeah. So what happens there? You get pent up emotions. You become lazy. Laziness is not about also like just being tired all the time. It can come from because you don't have activity or inspiration. If there's no inspiration, there's more laziness. Then what happens with laziness? You feel like you're failing. What happens to failure? Then you want to procrastinate more. And then what happens there? You feel even more failure. Then you feel depression. Then you go down a hole.
Oh no.
So before you get that deep into the hole, we're here to help you and pull you out and make sure that you go back to the reason why you want to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And if you don't yet know your mission, it's always good to ask other people, what do they think your strengths are? Because sometimes you cannot see your own strengths, right?
Yes.
And also your weaknesses, what to avoid. So I guess the next question is, what blocks you to learn faster, or what blocks your performance? Any insights on that, Anna?
Well, from personal experience, I can say what blocks your performance is yourself.
Yeah, you're the biggest block.
You're your
Something.
biggest blockage. You're your biggest challenge. So you can be in a group of people with different strengths and talents, but you're not really competing against them. You're competing against your own development, what you are becoming as a person. What you are and who you are as a person doesn't really matter to the others until you yourself are growing yourself and finding yourself a better way to grow in your purpose. So another thing is how to be coachable. I suffer from this a lot.
Yes.
Your own blockage is your ego or your own pride. So you can be very proud of who you are. Oh, I did this like so many years ago, but what are you doing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yes, I did this one, that, or I helped build this, but
Maybe someone knows something more.
somebody knows
better.
more than you. So there's always going to be somebody who's smarter, wiser, prettier, handsome, taller than you. So
Sharper nose.
or
Sharper
longer nose or smaller forehead, but
Bigger eyes.
bigger eyes or just a filter. But you have to let yourself be open and receive as much as you can from others. If you over project yourself, then no one will want to come to you. You'll block yourself from learning from others. So be open, learn from others, be coachable, and always ask why. Why am I doing this?
I think also one thing that blocks you from performance is having anxiety. Performance anxiety.
Yes.
I think almost everyone has this. Like, there's not one person who can say I don't get nervous at all. Like, there was a time when they had performance anxiety. So if you're nervous, then the less likely to flow you are, and the less likely to express what you want to express. So I think after our next break, we can show you how to release anxiety, how to gain more self-confidence.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, let's have the next song. And we are back to Educainment. I'm Vic.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Anna.
And now we will talk about what blocks us from learning fast and what blocks our performance.
So we said performance anxiety can block us. So we'd like to give a short technique on how to release anxiety so that you can have a clearer mind, stronger focus, and no anxiety for your performance.
So if you're feeling the butterflies in the stomach, or as they call here, the kulibangbang, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then this technique will help you release all of those kulibangbang in the stomach and help you feel more calm, relaxed, so that you can really perform. And then we will also give you some positive words that you can repeat to yourself that help you reprogram a more positive outlook. So they say that you think 60,000 thoughts per day.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Out of that, what percentage is good and what percentage is bad?
Or what is relevant?
Or even what is true? What is
What is
even
true?
relevant? So like for example, imagine a person they have 3 meals a day. So let's say out of the 2 meals per day, it's all dessert, and then the 1 meal is vegetables. So if you're feeding yourself a lot of nasty stuff, then what's the outcome? You're unhealthy. Your physical state, you might get even sick. But what if you increase the more healthy input? Then you are a healthier person and you can perform better because you're not sick. So the same with your mind and the same with your emotions. So we'll give you some techniques that can help you boost a lot of your confidence, that can give you a clear mind, a balanced perspective, and calm emotions.
All right, we have a question here. It says, "Hi, Paul. I like listening to your discussions. They're helpful, especially to our learners in this new normal. I am thinking, can you please discuss also ways to inspire our student listeners to learn on this modular way of the teaching learning process? Thank you. Hoping to listen to more of your program." All right, thank you very much for your question. So what's one way that, or what are some tips that can help students, especially in the modular learning? Because I notice a lot of them are very stressed, they cannot do it by themselves because they're missing that teacher interaction and student interaction.
Do you have any suggestions, Anna?
Well, what I would suggest, like how we said earlier, to learn faster, you apply immediately. So if you're even having confusions, you can ask someone or a peer to help you or have a better understanding of what the topic is. And another thing to learn faster is to give yourself a deadline on when you can master or understand the subject matter. If you don't give yourself a deadline and you procrastinate the subject, of course you're not going to learn from it because you're not giving yourself the time or effort to learn the subject. So especially in modular learning, if you're missing out on the teacher, you have to make way for yourself or even make way for others to give you advice on the subject.
Maybe it's not an answer that all of us want to hear, but for the modular learning, for the new normal, I would say it's not our new best normal. So I think for the modular learning, the students can only do as best as they can, because it's not the ideal situation for students. But to give advice, you can, if you have group chats online to help each other out,
Send them the answers.
No,
Google.
Well, that's what modular learning
Joke.
is. But have maybe a group chat, or if you're in contact with your teacher, maybe if your parents can help you. But I think some parents cannot help you. So I would like to give like a definite answer on how we can help you, but also there's a flaw in this modular learning system.
Yeah, so I mean, we are all in an experimental stage right now. So this modular learning is something that is very new. So don't get discouraged. Teachers also don't get discouraged when, things are not working out. We are all experimenting. We're experimenting with the vaccine. We're experimenting with the masks. We're experimenting with our education. So I think the next step is that we kind of have to go through this at first to see that it's not working.
Yeah.
So we can't tell you, just memorize, because that's not the next step for education.
Not everyone is good at memorizing.
Yeah, the next step is to move out of memory education or rote education, because even though Anna said you can learn from a mentor, but the answers that you give, if they're not exactly what the quiz wants, it won't be correct.
Yeah.
So even though you know even more about the topic, even though you know even the writer answer, if the answer is not as what is on the exam, then you're wrong.
Yes.
So just expect that people will have a hard time. So what is the solution? Look for a different kind of education. So for us, we are teaching and mentoring youth with it's called maximizing performance for children and youth, and we teach them applicable or employability skills, practical skills. So how to communicate, how to make better decisions, how to
budget.
how to budget. Of course, you need to budget.
Yes.
So
What do you want to say, Anna?
Well, if you want to learn more about this,
we'll include it in our next radio program.
Yeah.
Yes.
It can be part of our next.
Yes.
Thank you for the suggestion.
yes, and also if you want to come back here at Educainment, you can find us. What days do we find us here at the radio station?
On Mondays at 3 to 4 p.m.
Every other Monday.
Yes.
Yes, and also follow, don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook of Radyo Kabinnadang, and also to our own Facebook that we will insert in the Facebook Live.
And before we go, let's give you that technique before we run out of time. So just quickly close your eyes. This is to help remove your anxiety, your negative emotions, your mind, negative mental thoughts. Breathe deeply and slowly relax. I want you to imagine yourself in front of an ocean, a very big, beautiful ocean. And I want you to breathe out to the ocean as if you're breathing out all of your negativities, all of your fears, your anxiety. If you have depression, if you have sadness or anger, breathe and release it out to the ocean. And as if the ocean is taking all of the negativities away. Breathe out to the ocean all of your stress, all of your tiredness, or your low energy. If you're always feeling tired, breathe it out to the ocean. And anything else, if you have negative thoughts about yourself, thoughts that are self-harming, release anything that is remaining. Any conflicts in your life, bad memories, release it to the ocean. So it is, now it is done. Imagine that you are holding a knife or a sword of bright light and cut the connection from your negativities now in the past. Very good. Now I want you to focus on your heart. Feel the joy, peace, inner peace, stillness, happiness in your heart. And now I want you to do some affirmations that help you to bring more positive thoughts. Say that life is good. I am so blessed. I am so grateful to life. Life is good. One more. Life is good. I am so blessed. I am so grateful to life. Life is good. So it is, so it is, so it is. Now it is done. Now open your eyes and smile.
That's actually one of our other programs.
So thank you everyone for joining us today. We wanted to give you a surprise performance, but I think we're gonna have to hold it for next week since we're out of time.
When's our next segment?
Our next segment is February
15.
3 to 4 p.m. So stay in tune, and we will also later invite some local talents, youth talents. We will invite also youth advocates, youth leaders. So if you want to be on the show, please reach out to us. Or if you want to recommend someone, reach out. And if you want to dedicate a song, please do contact us at 0930-144-1745. Once more, that is 0930-144-1745. Again, I'm Vic.
I'm Leah.
And I'm Anna.
And this is Educainment.
We would like to dedicate the last song to all of our listeners and all to the youth watching. This is Can't Help Falling in Love.
pop version.